Yes. Hello, this is a basic introduction to Inkscape for doing graphics. I'm here with Meryl. We're going to do a slow step-by-step introduction to Inkscape. We're using Inkscape 1.1, which is freely available online. And so, Meryl, first of all, I want to walk you through what we can see here on the screen.
Okay.
Inkscape is a graphics program that allows you to draw shapes. Each shape is a separate object, which can be repositioned and resized, and then grouped together, and then broken apart. So the idea is that you can draw, say, a square, and then you can draw a circle, and then you can, at any time, recolor them, reposition them, and resize them. And you don't have to commit to a specific representation as you make your art or design. And so to start off, what I'd like you to do is take a look at the left-hand side where there is the tools. Each of the tools have an icon, and the basic tools are the select tool and then the shape tools that are below them. There's a little pen tool on the left-hand side. Looks like a little greeny blue pen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If you select that and then click on the canvas and then click in multiple places.
Oh, I've got that.
Oh yeah. You don't have to drag. You can just click.
Yeah, I've sort of drawn some blue, red, and green lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So keep clicking in different places. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then double click when you're finished.
Yes. Right.
Okay, so that worked, but rectangles don't. Okay, I'm just going to have to remember that. That's okay.
Yeah. Do you want me to see if the circle works?
Yeah, go on.
Oh, because I've got the pen, it's...
Oh, we didn't select the circle tool correctly.
Yeah.
You can press escape if you want.
Okay. Right, I've got a sort of a red, I've made a red oval now. Like a red egg. Okay.
That looks great. That looks great. So why don't we just keep going from there then?
Okay, so I've got, looks like a rugby ball and a
scoop. That's good. So what we can see here is that there are two things on the screen. One is red and one is transparent.
Yeah.
And they're different objects.
Yeah.
And if we go to the back to the select tool,
yeah,
we should be able to then, it's the little cursor looking one on the left at the top.
Yeah.
Yep. We should be able to move by dragging around that circle shape.
Yeah. The red one I've drawn.
Yeah. So there's little handles there's little handles on the edges. Those allow you to resize.
Yeah. I've made the whole thing bigger.
Excellent. And can you move it?
Sorry.
Can you drag it so that it's inside the scoop? Ah, lovely.
Okay.
Okay. So when you click on it, you'll notice that you get those handles.
Yeah.
When you click on it again, you'll notice the handles change. Actually, it went back to you double clicked on it, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So it goes back to the tool when you double click on it. So it's gone back to the circle tool.
Yeah.
Yep. You'll notice that the handles are different now. There's like a little square ones and there's a little round one.
Yeah.
Those are controls that allow you to create like a pie chart. So if you drag that little white circle handle.
This one?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then drag it around. It should allow you to create a little segment.
We'll make it half. I'll try that.
Half a circle.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so now we've got the basic gist of moving things and resizing things, and you can see that each of the tools has their own special controls.
Yep.
What we're going to do is we're going to color it. So the first thing we need to do is select the circle. Now we can do that either with the circle tool as selected, or we can go back to the selector tool.
Yep.
And then click on the circle. Right, you see it's got a little dashed line around it that says it's selected.
Yeah.
And in the very bottom, because you've got the selector tool, it usually says, when you have the selector tool set, it says one arc or circle selected.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'll notice that just above that status bar, there's a palette.
Yes.
With lots of different colors.
Yeah.
When you click on that, one of those colors, it should recolor the shape to that color.
Made it blue.
Nice.
Okay.
And that's called the fill. So anywhere in the interface you see the word fill, that's what it means, is like the color that fills it.
Of course, yeah.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to click on the other object, the what do we call it?
The scoop.
The scoop object.
I don't know. It was just, yeah, okay.
And I think we're going to need to use the select tool because it's a it's not a circle.
Yeah.
It's okay. We can just ignore that little shape.
And
you'll notice you can't click inside that little shape. You've got to click on the line.
Yeah.
If you want to delete that, you can press the delete key.
Okay, deleted that, yeah.
Yeah, so if you select that line, the scoop line, you should see it. There's another dotted line around it, and it says a path of 15 nodes in layer 1 on the status bar. And we're going to turn that into some other color, maybe green or...
Okay.
There you go. Yep. And you'll notice that whereas the semicircle, it just has a fill, this shape has a fill and a line. And the line is called a stroke. And on the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see that there's a representation that says fill is green, and then it says stroke is black.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
And it's in the bottom left-hand side. So what you can do is clicking sets the fill, but if you hold down the shift key and click, it sets the stroke to that color.
Is that it?
So if you hold down the shift key and then you click on the color in the palette.
Oh, sorry. Well, let's do a different color, shall I?
Yeah. So you notice how the line is still there, but the line is now turquoise.
Yes.
Yeah. So this allows you to control the line that's around an object as well as the fill, the contents of it.
Yeah.
That's the first introduction. Do you have any questions?
I'm trying to remember everything. I don't know if I'm going to remember all this. But,
it's okay. If you want me to slow down, I can also slow down.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. I mean, it's quite useful that it tells you at the bottom, you know, what you're actually doing. That's quite helpful. Yeah.
Okay, so
now it's fairly obvious. You know, it's just yeah.
Yeah, I recommend everybody play as much as possible.
Yeah, I bet my 5-year-old grandson would do much better than me.
Oh, they love this in schools. Like this, Inkscape is actually taught in Indonesian schools as a part of the curriculum. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is I want you to make just a single line that's from one point to another point, and we're going to go back to the pen tool.
Yeah, the pen. Right. Yeah. Do I have to select first?
No, you just you can select that other tool by itself.
Okay.
That's the dropper. That's a different tool.
Sorry.
That's all right. And then you're looking for the
pen or pencil? Pen.
So if you go up to the little blue one.
Oh yeah. Sorry, there are 3 pens.
There are, yeah. So one's a pen,
Yeah,
one's a pencil, and the other one's a calligraphy brush.
yes, yeah, italic pen.
So what we're going to do is we're going to use the pen and we're going to click once,
Yeah,
move the mouse, and then double click straight away.
yeah. Do you want me to draw a line?
Yes. So the idea is that we're not going to drag. We're just going to click and then double click. There we go. So now we have one line.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to show you is how to put an arrow on that line.
Okay.
So we're going to go back to the select tool, so we're not accidentally creating anything else.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go to, I don't want to give you the key combos, which is Control Alt F, but it's the problem with being an expert. You end up not remembering where things are in the menus. It's Object, Fill and Stroke. So if you go to the top menu bar and you go to the Object menu and go to Fill and Stroke.
Okay.
It should pop up with a little dialogue on the side.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah.
Now this is just a line, so it's got no fill, so which is fine. And if you select the little tab that says Stroke Paint, you'll notice this allows you to change the color to a specific color for that line. We want to keep it black, so black is fine. So we're going to go to Stroke Style. Now this has it gives you numerous options for how this line should be represented.
Yeah.
And we're going to set the width to say 5. So if you go into that box and then or press the plus button, that also works. And you'll see the line gets thicker.
Yeah. There you go. And
then we're going to go to the dashes and we're going to select a nice long dash. Excuse me. Oh, so go to the drop down instead of the dash offset. It's okay. The interface doesn't tell you the difference between those two controls. So if you select one of the options that you find aesthetically pleasing.
Well, let's just find that one. Okay.
And then we're going to go to the next line, which is markers.
Yeah.
And the markers are the arrowheads. So if you click on the start marker, it'll give you a set of options. And then you can select one of the arrowheads.
Okay. Let's do that one. Oh, wow.
It's surprising because it's at the start, it's the opposite way that you might expect.
Yeah, it is.
If you're happy with the backwards arrow, we can keep it, or you can change it to the opposite direction if you want.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have a dotted line with an arrow on it. We're going to have a look at the left-hand side again, and just below the select tool is the node tool. It looks like a little blue line with a little
this one
pointer. Yeah, that's the one. This allows you to change lines specifically by their points. So you'll notice that the line has changed so that it's got a tiny little white square. There's a white square on the left-hand side and a white square on the right-hand side. They're quite small, actually.
Oh, yeah. I can barely see them. Yeah.
Should we increase the node size?
Yeah.
I need to remember where that setting is.
So
hang on for a second. I'm just going to have a look at the. Oh, I have the wrong version open. Don't mind me while I refresh my notes.
No, it's okay.
Oh, handle size. Handles. I think that's it. Size. Okay. Sorry for yeah.
No, it's fine.
Okay, so you go to Edit Preferences.
Yeah.
The preferences are right at the bottom.
Right at the bottom. Yeah. Okay.
And then we're going to go to interface in that big long list of things on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
And then you see where it says handle size, almost towards the bottom of the things that have. We're gonna push that up from 3 to say 5 or 7.
Have to do it here.
That's either.
Got it. Yeah.
Yep. And then exit that preferences window.
Okay.
So you can see the boxes should have gotten a bit bigger.
Yes, they have. Yeah.
Yeah. If that's okay, we can keep that, or we can make them even bigger if you like.
It's fine.
Okay. So what the node tool allows you to do is you can basically select that little box and then drag it around the screen to change where the line is positioned.
Yeah.
So what I'd like you to do is to reposition the line so the arrow points at the semicircle.
Is that okay?
Perfect. Great. So now that we have, so you understand the idea of the line.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to make the line curve. The way you do this is you put the cursor in the middle of the line where the dashes are, and then you just drag it out to make it curve. So on the black line.
Sorry, just explain that again. I'm not sure what I'm doing here.
Okay, so the black line that we have, it's currently straight. We're going to turn it into a curve.
Sorry, I wasn't sure because it was flashing something else. So we're going to make that into a curve, right? Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna drag the middle of the line out. So not the little boxes, because that just positions it. It's all right. The little boxes, and then drag the middle of it. There you go.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
So this is what's known as a Bezier curve,
right.
And it gives you these two little handles that appear.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to bother tweaking these little handles if you want. Just dragging that line around will allow you to curve it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Great. So these are sort of like the basic controls. Now, when you have a line like this, say if we wanted it to be straight again, we could click on the line, which selects.
Oops, it's a bit wavy now.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very finicky to get it straight again. So we have a tool for that. So if you click,
right. Okay.
So if you click on the line, you'll notice both ends get selected.
Yes.
And then once both ends are selected, you can there's a bar that appears for the node tool just under the menu. And can you see the menu bar?
Where am I looking?
So if you look right at the top of the screen, there's a file edit view menu. Just below that is a bunch of icons. Called the toolbar. If you look at that, there's one that's just a straight line, and if you click on that straight line.
Oh yeah, got it. It's quite small.
Oh, interesting. That you clicked on the delete button.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So we're going to do control Z.
Right. Oh, sorry about that.
But you're right. Like that kind of looks a bit like
a line.
Yeah.
So which is the line?
So the line is actually about halfway through that menu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe 12 objects across.
Oh, there.
That's the one.
Sorry.
That's fun. Okay, so if you this is a good opportunity to actually do the undo. So if you go to edit undo, you'll notice that we can get that line back.
Edit undo. There you go.
Yeah. So now we go and we select that line again.
That one.
We can click that, but it won't do anything because we need to select the line first.
Okay, sorry. And
and you notice it still didn't do anything. That's because the object is selected, but the nodes, the little squares, are not. So to make sure we select the nodes, we click on the line again, which selects both of those nodes. There you go. And now when you click on that straight line, it should make that line straight.
There
you go. Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, I'll let you walk through that because it's good to know that selecting an object and selecting the nodes are two different things that can get confusing because you're controlling.
Yeah, I think it's because they're quite small, and so in some ways I'm glad I'm looking at on the PC rather than the laptop, but yeah, it's sort of working out, what's what.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So do you have any questions about like making a line and arrows and things like that?
No, I think, I think you just get into it and you would.
Absolutely.
I mean, you would use the, the information at the top, which is sort of, which I've not really been looking at. I've been tending to focus on the icons rather than read what's across the top. Yeah.
So what we're going to do next is we're going to create a piece of text, like a label for the arrow.
Okay.
And there's a text tool that looks like an A underneath the calligraphy pen on the left-hand side.
Yeah, got it.
Yep. And then what you need to do to create a label is just simply click on the canvas where you want the text. It'll create a little cursor, and then you can just type in a message to label things. Nope.
So I just type something.
I think so, but your screen has popped up a little floating window, which I don't know what that's from.
Right.
It looks like your Windows has taken.
Just try and get rid of that. Just wanted me to track COVID-19 vaccines. No way. Okay. I've lost the ability to type now.
Oh, yep.
Right, I've written a pan.
Excellent. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the select tool now.
Okay.
And we're going to move that label to a position. So you need to change the tool on the left to the little arrow select tool. That's the one.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that the nodes change. So we can resize it now and we can move it around. So yeah. And you'll notice that there's a little cursor that looks like 4 arrows that appears when you're hovering over the object itself.
Yeah.
Text can sometimes be a little finicky to move because your cursor has to be over the actual stroke.
Yeah.
If you put the cursor over like the gap that's inside the P, for instance, you won't be able to move it.
Okay.
So then we're going to move that. Yeah.
I seem to have got a T somewhere there. Not know
Yeah,
why.
you typed that in before by accident.
All right. Okay. I'll get rid of that.
Yep.
Oh, well. A pan.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set you a challenge. I'm going to go.
Oh no.
it's okay. Failure is an option. So I'm gonna make myself a cup of tea, and what I want you to do is I want you to select the green shape, which is currently a whole bunch of lines, and I want you to use the node tool to bend it so that it's all curvy.
Just remind me where the node tool is again.
Let me know if you would like any help.
I'd love some help. I need to write down which is which tool, because I've just completely forgotten.
It's okay.
I know I should be.
You're using the right tool.
I can't remember how to make it curvy. When I pulled something out before, but I'm just getting straight lines.
Yeah. So what you're doing is you're dragging around the nodes themselves, the little squares, and you need to be dragging the thing between the two points.
Ah.
Also, in this case, it looks like you have multiple nodes that are at the same location, which confuses things. So you can see how we've created this little like loop background. Sometimes this happens. You draw a shape and you accidentally have lots of nodes that are in the same position.
Okay. Right. I seem to have got loads of nodes. Or whatever.
Let's have a look at some of the simpler lines, like the lines on the right-hand side.
Okay. Right here.
Yeah. So if we try and make those curves. And remember, it's not the little nodes themselves you need to change, it's the line that's between the two.
What? Am I clicking on the right one?
No, you're clicking on the node, the square. You need to be dragging the line between the two. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what? I'm creating another box there.
Yeah, that's a selector box. It happens when you're not quite on the line. The cursor will change to one with a little 4 arrows when you're on the right line.
Right. Sort of got a.
Nice, congratulations.
Oh right. Oh crikey. I've made my pan rather a strange shape now, though.
I thought the blue thing was the pan. I'm sorry. I must have.
No, the blue thing is the half an aubergine. I've got a green frying pan, which is a bit. I want to get, so I don't see that bit. I'm trying to make this pan have proper sides. No, goodness me.
It's okay. This is complete play because we're like getting used to moving the nodes themselves and getting used to shaping the curves between them. This is like a new way of drawing things. What's happening is that the computer has a list of coordinates. They're basically each one of those nodes is a location on the screen, and then it draws a line between them as you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we have successfully done. Like I congratulate you. This is correct. Next, what we're going to do is next what we're going to do is we're going to fill with a gradient, right? So what we have currently is a blue object and a green object, and they're just flat. But we can actually make them have a gradient between two colors. And to do that, what we can do is on just below the A on the left-hand side, the text tool is the gradient tool.
There.
Yep. And what you can do is you click on the object, say the blue object, and then you drag between 2 points. Yep. And you'll see that it creates this little line with 2 points, which represent the space that the gradient will go in.
Yeah.
Yep. They can be as far apart from each other or as close to each other as you need.
Looks like a ship now.
Nice. And what we're going to do is we're going to color one side of the gradient with a different color from the first. So you'll notice that the bottom one is currently selected, and that's transparent. It has no fill and no stroke. So we're going to go into the bottom palette and we're going to select a different color.
Okay.
There you go. And now we go from blue to yellow over that space. Could you make the gradient a little bit bigger so we can see the gradation? There you go.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's good. And so this is just another way of filling the object, right? We can fill it with solid color, or we can fill it with patterns and other things. But this is a simple way of adding a gradient. Okay.
Yeah.
So are there any questions so far about what we've done?
No, I'm okay. It's just I can't remember everything. That's the. Yeah.
So one of the good things is that I'll be able to send you this video, so you'll be able to review.
Yeah, I can see at the top. It shows me on select. It shows me the gradient that I've done. Yep. That's helpful.
And there's other things like you can make it reflect and repeat and play with those options.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to get you to do now is use the dropper tool, which is it looks like a pipette on the left-hand side.
Look, looks like a what? Sorry.
A pipette. Sorry, my French isn't very good.
No. I thought you said it looked like a pet, and I thought I can't see any dogs or cats. So sorry.
Looks like a pipette.
Got it.
So what this does is it allows you to recolor things by sampling the color from somewhere else.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're going to select, let's say we select the green pan. We need to use the select tool first, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay, we've colored it green because that the selected object was the circle, so we can do edit undo to get us back to our gradient.
Yeah. Undo. Yeah. Okay.
So we use the select tool to select the green object.
Yep.
And then we use the pipette and select one of the gradients, one of the colors in the blue to yellow. Any one of them is fine.
In the gradient bit, or?
Yeah, it's up to you. It'll sample any of those colors for you.
Okay.
So we've colored it this like off yellow color, and this allows. Yeah. So this allows you to color things based upon their sample.
Okay.
Sometimes that's useful. It's not terribly important though. So if you want to focus more on the shaping stuff, then ignore that. Okay, so now we're going to come back to looking for artwork online and then downloading a piece of artwork and then editing it, because
Okay.
we've created our own shapes here. But honestly, the power of Inkscape is actually being able to download existing work and editing it for your own needs.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll open up a web browser.
Where are we? Okay.
And we're going to go to a website called openclipart.org.
Now this is, oh, sorry, I've gone straight to the one that I'd had a look at. Is that okay?
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
And then once you've browsed the website and selected an image that you're interested in, you can click on the green button, which is the SVG vector.
Yeah. Am I ignoring that small, medium, large?
You are, yeah. So the small, medium, and large is rendered versions, right?
Okay.
They're fixed graphics.
Yeah.
The SVG is the editable file.
Okay. Okay, I've got this image on screen with all the cakes and bowls and fruit. Okay, rolling pin.
Okay, so now you need to save it. I think if you just press Control S, it'll save from Chrome.
I'll leave it in downloads just for now. I'm gonna call it something else.
Yeah, but put it in a location that you can you'll be able to locate it.
Yeah, I've jotted it down. Yeah. Okay.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Inkscape and go File, Open, and then select that file.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can see our object here. Now, the first thing is when you're downloading an object is we don't know how it's constructed yet. So we want to investigate it by clicking on the object using the select tool.
Okay.
Yep, and then click on the cakes and things in the image. Okay, so you can see how it's selected just one piece of the line.
Mm.
And so what we can say is that this object is probably lots of little lines and dots and things.
Yes.
What we're going to do is we're going to either do Control A or Edit Select All. And we're going to select all of the objects. Okay, and you'll see at the bottom it says 1,444 objects selected of type path. Right. So this image,
it's a bit complicated.
it's a very attractive image, right? And so like lots of people that go to Open Clipart and they select images because there are different ways of representing the shapes. Okay. Sometimes you'll get a complicated image like this. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to modify this image. I think what I'd like you to do is deselect everything by clicking away. So click anywhere else on the screen that's not a part of the graphic. And then I want you to drag a box using the select tool around the fruit and bananas on the right-hand side. So if you start away from the shapes, and then you drag a box around all of them.
Oh, what's going on here? Is that
so
okay?
So what's happened here is we've selected one of the objects and we've resized it.
Oh, sorry.
That's it. Yeah, it's
Let me
so undo. If you,
yeah.
And keep undoing until you get back. I just remember the key Control Z.
Okay. So tell me again. What? Just walk me through again that last bit. I'm clicking.
Okay, so you start on the right-hand side of the canvas, so like beyond the edge of the canvas, beyond the top edge of the canvas. So you're like above and right, and then you drag a box towards the left bottom to create a box.
Around this fruit.
Yes.
Oh.
So the idea is that the box should encompass everything on that side. So what's happened here is we've started in the middle.
Yeah. Sorry. Let me undo.
Yep, that's just one.
Yeah.
So ignore those little handles that appear.
Yeah.
And we're going to try again. Start at the top right-hand side of the canvas and then drag a box over the whole thing. There you go.
So that better.
That's it. And then you press the delete key to delete those objects.
There
you go. So now we can see that all of those little objects were actually just the little dots that was inside the image. And what we're left with is the outline.
Yeah.
So the outline here is actually one whole constructed object. It's not made of little parts. So what we're going to do next is we're going to select the node tool, which is the second selector on the left-hand side. And then we're going to use the node tool and we're going to select the fruit using it. Yeah. So you have to click on the black line part. There you go. Now you'll notice that an absolute million little boxes has appeared because this line is made up of lots of lines that are joined together to make a whole shape.
Yeah.
And this is what's known as like a wholly constructed complex shape, right? Because it's made of lots of it's describing lots of things, but it's actually just one object. And so what we need to do now is we need to drag a box around the nodes like we did with the other one, but with this one instead. We're going to do the same box.
I'm not doing this right.
Keep trying. If the boxes disappear, that means the object has been deselected. You can just click on the fruit again to select it back.
Undo. Yeah.
The little dots have come back now because you've undone the thing we did. Sorry. Go to edit, redo.
Edit, redo. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, we select the black line again so that we have it selected in the node tool.
Okay.
And then draw a box around the nodes that are inside that on that side.
Oh.
It's okay. It takes practice to basically drag without clicking because as soon as you click, it deselects.
So I need to undo again.
No, because nothing has changed. The graphic hasn't actually changed. Only the selection has changed.
Okay.
So if you click on, you need to click on the line again so we can see the nodes.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, interesting.
I've just suddenly got something there. What's that down
there? Those are the objects that are not a part of that big line.
Right. Do I need to?
No need to undo. What we're going to do is we're going to click on the line of the bananas. I think those are bananas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Right.
then we're going to try again with the box from the right-hand side. There you go. And once they're selected, press the delete key, which will delete those nodes. And now when you do this, it'll look a bit wacky because the
Delete some. Did you say delete?
delete, yes.
Ah,
Okay, so you notice how it's gone a bit wacky. That's fine.
yeah,
There's some nodes on the far right-hand side that we missed because they weren't inside that box.
Okay.
So we'll do the process again where we put a little box around those far right-hand nodes.
So that, sorry, you'll have to walk me through again. What am I doing?
So drag a box around those nodes on the right-hand side.
Okay.
That's the one. And press the delete key again. Okay. So now the nodes are now gone from that side. So we've effectively deleted them, but we still have some straggling construction.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is click on the line that that makes up this little bulb that's appeared.
Which
Not
this
not
one outside, one inside.
not yeah yeah, exactly. So it'll look like the little move again when you hover over it because it's the line as it curves around.
I'm trying to click on this line. Is that?
So you're looking at the straight lines. Ignore those straight guidelines. Those are just for the.
Oh, right. Okay. So click on
That. Yep.
Yeah.
And once you've clicked on it, then we're going to go to the straight line tool again, like we did before.
That's that one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And you'll notice it's stopped being a bulb and it's gone to be a straight line.
Yeah, it's all sort of gone into, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to deselect everything by clicking anywhere on the canvas. And then we're going to use the zoom tool to zoom in on that part. So almost at the bottom of the left-hand side toolbar, there's a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
And what you can do is you can use that tool to draw a box around a section of the drawing that you want to zoom into. The smaller the box, the more magnified it will be.
Is that it?
Yeah, and you can keep clicking if you want to zoom in.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see what's happened with the nodes. They're overlapping each other.
Yes.
And you can clean this up if as you go by using the node tool to click those lines and make them straight again, or like pick individual nodes and delete them out so that you can like tidy it up. I won't have you do that now if you don't want to, because it's this is the process of like of editing the art.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depending upon how much editing you want to do, you can spend more time making it more and more perfect for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what we're going to do next is we're going to fill the mixing bowl. We're going to make it a specific color.
Okay.
Now, with this particular kind of shape, that mixing bowl isn't an object. The only thing that's an object is the lines themselves, right? Which is a problem because what we need is an object to fill.
Yeah.
But we have a tool for that. It's called the paint bucket, right? So just underneath the pipette object is a bucket of paint that's spilling out.
That's it.
That's the one. If you use that tool and then click inside the mixing bowl, what it will do is it'll create a new object which fills that white space.
Clicking it.
Click in it. Oh, it's created a dotted line. That's cute. And you can see how it's filled the space as best it can. But there's a lip on the other side of the mixing bowl. You can click on that as a separate object and then create that as a separate piece again.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And now what we can do is we can then use the fill and stroke and other tools that we learned before to change the color of that, change the stroke style, etc., to turn that into, let's say a red bowl.
Yeah.
you can use the select tool to make sure you don't. So you notice what's happened here is we've actually created an object on top of an object, because every time you click using the paint bucket, it creates a new object.
Yes.
So if you click on the select tool,
Yep.
and then we're going to move the red bowl away, and you'll see what's happened. Right. So the yellow part is still there underneath.
There. Yep.
So what we can do is we can delete or keep those as we need them.
Yeah. You want me to sorry, what am I doing? Delete?
I wanted you to delete the red one, because the red one is actually worse than the yellow one. And you can move the little lip back, because I think that's fine. Or delete it.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what colour I chose for that.
So to make that lip again, we can use the paint bucket to recreate that object.
What's the paint bucket? And oh, it's red.
Yeah, it remembers the last fill that you used.
Right. It's a multicoloured bowl.
It's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the select tool this time, and we're going to recolor that yellow shape to red. Right. So then select the bottom part of the bowl, and then you select the red color.
Oh, sorry.
That's right.
Down here.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to actually combine the lip and the bottom part together so that they're one object. This is called grouping.
Yeah.
And to do that, what we do is we use the select tool to click on the bottom part, so it's selected, and then we hold down the shift key and click the lip as well. And you'll notice the bottom bar, it says 2 objects of type path.
Yes.
That means we know we have those 2 objects selected.
Yeah.
So now we can either go to the edit group, or we can go on there's an actual bar on the far right hand side, which is the easiest way of doing it. It's I think the menu is easier.
Sorry, what am I doing?
So you go to the object menu, group. I had to check my notes, sorry. At the top bar, object.
Yeah, I've got it.
Group.
And group. Yeah.
Yep. So now the bottom bar should change to group of 2 objects.
Yes.
And you'll notice now when we move the bowl around, both the lip and the bottom part move together.
Yep.
Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the fill and stroke dialog, and we're going to change that dotted turquoise line into a black solid line.
I need to be in edit.
Yeah, it's I think it's object fill and stroke.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
object fill and stroke.
Yeah. Oh, I've lost it.
It's okay. It's scrolled. You can use the scroll bar at the bottom to scroll back to where.
How do I get rid of this?
We need that dialogue open.
Oh, yeah.
So actually, there's a trick that I can show you, which is you put the mouse cursor somewhere on the canvas, and you hold down the space bar and then move the cursor. It's called
sorry.
It's panning.
No, I'm just moving.
I know, because there's two
Right.
scroll bars.
Oh, sorry. Right. So fill and stroke.
Stone stroke. So we have no object selected currently, so we can't change anything. We need to select that red ball.
Yeah.
And now we go into fill, and you see there's a little X,
Yeah.
and then there's a little square. Press the square.
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry. No. This is perfect. So next to the X is a square. Press the square.
Yeah, got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we're going to put the
It's
red. It's gone black. Yeah, it's the default color. So if we take the red and we push the red all the way to the top.
all right. Okay.
There you go. And then we're going to go to stroke paint.
Yeah.
And we're going to click the box again, the one next to the X.
Oh, sorry, the box. Yeah.
That means solid fill.
Yeah.
And then black is fine. Black is the default.
Okay.
And then we're going to go to stroke style.
Yeah.
And then we're going to set the dashes, the drop down for the dashes.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yep. And select one of the dashes, and then we're going to put it back to fixed line. Just needs to be overwritten.
Yeah.
So, and then select the dashes again and put it back to solid line. There you go.
Okay.
So now we've extracted one of the objects by using the paint bucket to kind of create a fill, and then we've made the line black. But this isn't necessarily what we want. Maybe we want to keep it inside of the original drawing, right? We want to keep the drawing. We're just coloring it in. For that, we can use the select tool to drag the red back to the where the mixing bowl where we got it from. Yep. And what we're going to do next is we're going to show that each of the objects are drawn in an order, right? And so what we can do is we can push the red ball back in the order so that it's drawn first, and then the lines that are drawn around it are drawn afterwards. And to do that, I just want to remember the menu. You go Object, lower to bottom.
Hello, I've got it.
Yep. And what that does is it pushes the object to the bottom so that it's the thing. So the black lines are always drawn for last, and so you see them on top.
Okay.
You won't see much difference because the fill is not taking up the same space.
Yeah.
But it's good when you fill things in and you're not using an extra stroke. You're just using a fill. Sometimes the fill can go over the lines, and you want to push it to the back so that you can keep the lines. Okay, so now that we've gone through a basic editing of this download, do you have any questions?
Well, no. I'm just yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about this thing. I've taken you through quite a lot of concepts and a lot of things.
Yeah.
So hopefully you can just review this video when you need to.
Yeah,
and
it's quite mind blowing, and I think I'm a bit. I always like to jot things down as I'm going along, and I've just jotted little bits.
The video is recorded. It's jotted everything down for you.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's brilliant. It means I can go through that and have the video at the side and yeah. But
Yes,
I do like the red bowl because red is actually the colour of my baking branding. So that's brilliant. I love that bowl.
Lovely. So what we're going to do is we're going to save this graphic as it is, and we go File, Save As.
Yeah. I'll do it as baking picture 2, and then I've got
Very wise.
Yeah. Otherwise it'll over.
Yes.
It.
Excellent. So we're going to close that, and I'm going to send you an alternate image to edit.
Do I just close at the top? Do you mean?
Yep.
Yeah. And with the red at the top. Yeah.
That's the one. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Bro. And do you want me to close this as well?
We'll keep this one open because we need to use the file open.
Yeah.
So I've sent you a link in the Big Blue Button chat to an open Clipart image.
Right. I've just got this on screen at the moment. Okay. Is there anything I need to do now?
No, so we're not going to touch this graphic. We're going to go to a web browser, come back to the Big Blue Button where we're chatting.
So shall I minimize this? Do you want me to minimize this?
Yes.
And sorry, it's not the mouse. Can't find you. There we go. There we go. Sorry.
Excellent. Okay, so you notice in the chat I've posted a link.
Yes.
To openclipart.org.
Okay.
It's a cake.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So run through the same process that we did before.
It's actually a bun, not a cake.
Oh.
It's
I never went to school. Don't know the difference between cake and bun.
It's a north-south thing. When last week, when I made with my granddaughter these 100 buns for the Captain Tom 100 challenge, I call them buns, right? Because they are. A cake is a large thing, like a Victoria sandwich or a fruit cake or a Christmas cake. But down here, they call these small. They call them cakes.
Fairy cakes.
And I can't. Well, they're buns. Anyway,
they call it a cupcake in America.
Well, I suppose, yeah, cupcake, yeah. Let you off. Okay. Sorry.
Okay, so we use the same process. Download the SVG, and then what I want you to do is open Inkscape. I'll be right back. Do you remember how to save?
No.
Control S.
Oh, yeah. Let me write that down. Control S equals save image. Yeah, there are some things I have to write down. That's it. Cake. I'm going to call it cake 1. Yeah.
I'm back.
I've called this cake 1.
Excellent. Okay, so what we're going to do is this object is different from the previous ones because instead of it being a solid black line, it's actually made of multiple objects. And if you click on it, you'll see that it should say group of and then a certain number of objects.
Just click on the
cake bun.
Excellent.
So you'll see in the status bar it says it's a group of 10 objects.
Objects. Yes.
What we can do is we can go to object ungroup.
Ungroup.
Ungroup. And what this does is it splits the group apart, right?
Okay.
Like what we did before when we grouped the two parts of the mixing bowl together. This breaks them apart.
Yeah.
And now we have 10 objects. And what we're going to do is we want to remove the cherries. So we deselect everything, clicking anywhere on the canvas. And then we're going to delete the red circles at the top, and we'll see each of the objects as you delete them, how it's constructed. So
I click on the object.
Click on the object, and then press delete. Right. So you'll notice that the vibrant red parts have disappeared first.
Yes. Yeah.
And now we're going to click on the peachy part of it, and then press the delete key again.
Yeah.
And then click on the pink parts. Okay, so now you'll notice that the dotted line is actually much bigger than the rest of it.
Yeah.
So we're going to ignore that for a second, and then we're just going to look at the dark red shape. Right, and press the delete. Okay, so now this didn't quite work out as I expected, because it's completely unnecessary for this graphic for it to have grouped these separate objects, but then have pink underneath them that doesn't show. It's completely unnecessary. So
that, looking at the graphic, that they were just cherries on top of the cake bun.
Bun. That's right. Cherries on top of the bun.
Yeah.
But you can see how the pink object is still there. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the node tool. We're going to just have a quick look at the number of nodes that are on there. We'll be able to see sort of like it flowing around the object.
This? No.
Yeah, click on the pink.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you can see it's the entire shape. It's almost like a shadow for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have a look at the darker pink. You click on that. Yeah, so they've cut it out, which is a shame. A lot of objects that you can download from openclipart.org are actually you can just break them apart and then delete them, and what's underneath is perfectly good. In this particular case, we have a less good object because they've.
It's quite complicated object, really, and it doesn't desperately need to be, does it?
No. The advantage of SVG is that you can just layer the shapes on top of each other without destructively modifying the things beneath them. So, I think we're basically done. I was going to get you to recolor it, but since they've destroyed the the little swirl at the top, we'd have to reconstruct this, right?
Yeah, I'll play around with it.
Okay. So there's one final lesson, which is what do you do when you have a normal picture or a photograph that's not an SVG, right? It's just maybe it's a logo, maybe it's a thing. And what I'm going to do is for this one, I'm going to take control of the presenter and I'm going to show on my computer this particular step. Okay.
Do you want me to stop sharing?
It'll stop. So I've gone to a website and I'm interested in this graphic at the top here, this logo. Maybe I want to represent it in something.
Yeah.
In web browsers, you can actually right click on them and you can copy the image or save the image as. So I'm going to save this logo.
Yeah.
No, that's the wrong location. Oh, we're not on my desktop. Right. So I'm going to use Inkscape. I have my nodes turned all the way up because I was changing the preferences before. That was good. Okay, so when I open like an image that you download that's not an SVG file, it'll ask you basically if you want to embed it. These options are not terribly important. So it'll open up the graphic and you'll be able to see it. But what you'll notice is it's just one object, right?
Yes.
It's in the bottom it says image of 921 pixels by 260 pixels.
Yeah.
And you'll notice I can't do anything with it. It's just a thing. It's just a monolith, right?
Yeah.
And so what we need to do is we need to trace it. And tracing is a process that's available in Path Trace Bitmap.
Yeah.
And it's an art in and of itself when you want to convert a photograph or a logo into an SVG. And you for this one it's colored, right? So you can do a black and white scan like this, but I'm going to do a color, multiple scans color, and I'm going to look what it looks like with 8 colors. Let's do 14 colors. Okay, I'm going to smooth it. You don't have to follow this precisely. This is why I took control, because it's it's more involved, but it is a very useful technique to be able to do. So I've pressed apply, and now I have 2 versions, right? I have this one and I have this one.
Yeah.
And what you can do is you can then you'll notice that now the node tool works, right? I can actually go in and I can actually see it. And that's because this is now scanned, like it's traced, right? The program tried to trace it as best it could.
Yeah.
And now I can start recoloring things, right? I could reshape them. The tracing is imperfect, though. You'll notice if you zoom in, the settings that I used were not great. And that's because this is why there's so many options in here, is to kind of tune it until you get a really nice result. But you'll notice actually it did a much worse job of the text than it did for this object.
Yeah.
So sometimes what I do when I'm recreating logos is that I actually just type the text back in and choose the same font and focus on these the parts that are not representable by text.
Yeah.
So I can delete these objects. I use stacked scanned. Yeah. There's lots of little different colors that it detected between the lines. There's a white one as well.
Wow.
Okay, so one of the reasons why you might want to do this is because you see how when I zoom in, it's just a straight line, right? This gray is now a straight line. If I go into the original one and I zoom into the gray, you see how it goes all fuzzy?
Yeah.
That's called pixelation, right? And that happens because this is a raster image and this is a vector image.
Yeah.
Keeping the original vectors means that you can export your images to the website, for instance, in much larger versions. We like to joke that you could print your logo onto the moon and it would be perfectly smooth.
Yeah.
No matter what size.
Yeah.
So this is a very, very basic introduction to trace bitmap. You can also use the paint bucket like we did before to paint the shapes one by one. That's like an easier way to do it.
Yeah.
But it's a similar process of recreating a raster image.
Yeah.
The paint bucket will actually work on the raster image as well. Okay, that's the final lesson. Are there any questions about anything that we've done?
I think I need to digest it all, but that's been quite amazing to do that. Thank you so much. I have learned such a tremendous amount.